Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Property and Investor Podcast. I'm your host, Paul Lanfey. And of course, nothing in the podcast, health advice, legal advice, financial advice, all of that good stuff. But you'll notice that these podcasts are a bit different. This is a subset of the podcast called the All Stars. And these are with people that I've had the absolute privilege of working with for a year as part of my inner circle group. And it really is a privilege. And I am really thrilled to introduce you to Tony. Tony, welcome to the podcast.
Mhm.
So, to open the batting, tell the good people who you are, what your business is.
So my name's Tony Houlihan. I'm based in Stockport in the northwest. I've got a couple of different businesses. My main business, I guess, is Aligned Property Services.
Mhm.
We focus on property consultancy in the main, either SMEs or developers that need assistance with the projects or with the businesses, and sometimes do some stuff for big corporates as well.
Nice. And obviously, we've been spending the whole year together on Inner Circle. So, if we go back to kind of the beginning of the year, where were you before you started the program? What kind of problems and challenges were you dealing with them?
So when I started in a circle, a bit of an interesting couple of years before that, and was changing a lot of my focus from what I'd done before.
Mhm.
Was looking at lots of different things, and had lots of different plates spinning at the same time. And it was getting quite stressful. A lot of the stuff that I get asked to do, I'm interested in. So I tend to take on probably a bit more than I should, as lots of entrepreneurs do, I guess. But yeah, probably started the year with probably 10 or 12 different things that I was trying to do at the same time.
hmm I think you can definitely be forgiven for that as well. I think that's where, as you say, I think that's a perennial problem of all entrepreneurs. It's that thing of there isn't necessarily a lack of opportunity. There's like too much opportunity. There's too much stuff to go after, and I
Absolutely.
have certainly found myself in that boat. Not just for days or weeks or months, but literally for years on end. So, how did Inner Circle help?
So one of the things that was really good at the start of it was the simplification of everything that I've been doing. So I sort of look back and sort of look at key points. And I think the one page business plan was a turning point for me. I've
Mhm.
got three or four different big clients who I consider big clients, regardless of the scale and size. I've got a couple of different business partners, and the one page business plan for me really made it ring true what my best areas of focus should be. And the thing that was really, really valuable about the way you run things, Paul, is the fact that it was life first and business second.
Mhm.
Never really done that. I've done similar programs in the past, but I've never done anything where it's had so much emphasis and focus on the life stuff, and
Mhm.
then the business stuff is there to feed your life, not the
Mhm.
other way around. And I've really enjoyed that. And you'll notice that, whenever I put in things that I'm doing, it's always now life first, business second. That doesn't mean business isn't important. Of course it is. But, the first things that go in the calendar are the stuff with the kids,
Mhm.
holidays and adventures, where we're going traveling, where we're going out to do fun stuff, whether that's football, whether it's restaurants, and then I will fill in where I can work and when I can work around that.
Mhm. I love it. I love it. And yeah, the one page business plan was definitely an evolution for me as well. I used to produce these really lengthy things and have them all like, worked out by designers and have them laminated and all kinds of things. But how many business plans that look like that are popped into popped into a drawer and never looked at
To a
again?
draw
Probably,
I've never seen again.
probably,
Yeah.
probably a few. So how are things now? Bring us up to speed.
Yeah. So I guess I've got sort of four main areas of focus now.
Mhm.
We develop supported housing. I've got a really cool business partner in that, Tara Bold. We've done four projects this year from a standing start. She's an expert in the field. I've helped with sort of the development stuff and some of the investor liaison things like that. That's working really well. We've gone from the beginning of the year where we weren't really happy with some of the things, some of the builders, some of the time frames, some of the finishes,
Mhm.
to going into next year. We've got two really good properties in the business at the minute. We're looking for new stuff, so that's really exciting that we can go, and we've built that to a point now. We've got the model, we've got the foundations in place to grow that next year, so that's really really good. I've got another sort of key client or company that I collaborate with called Switch, and we do sort of construction and project management.
Mhm.
We're looking at some really interesting schemes for really, really interesting developers, really good clients, and some really good projects in the Northwest on the horizon for next year. And then my consultancy stuff is getting busier and busier. So I'm getting to the point now where I can pick clients that I
Mhm.
want to work with, rather than just taking the ones that are there that have got the projects, and I'm picking and choosing the projects, but also which clients I'm working with, which is
Mhm.
very fortunate position to be in. But they're my three main focuses next year. I'm very set. It's going to have to be something very, very exciting to um, let me water down the focus on them. I know
Mhm.
exactly how much time I need to allocate to them. I know exactly what projections they're going to do in terms of finance, in terms of time. And I
Mhm.
don't think I've been like that for, the first 4 or 5 years of entrepreneurship. So that's really, really exciting for me.
This sounds like progress, Tony. And I know there's been loads of progress because I've seen it over the last 12 months and beyond. Um, so if somebody is thinking about inner circle, a little bit intrigued, what would be, what would you say to them if someone is thinking about inner circle?
So there were two key benefits for me. One was the structure, which I desperately need. I'm sort of, I'm not a one man band by any stretch of the imagination. I spend a lot of time collaborating, working with others,
Mhm.
but very much I get up and I choose my own path that day. But I have really enjoyed the structure, the most important tasks, the weekly wins. And at the beginning, it took me a little bit to get into the rhythm of that. But then you're actually okay. That's good. That's something that's positive this week, and you're not focused on the challenges all the time.
Mhm.
And that's really helped me. I'm sort of getting into the week. I'm already knowing what my areas of focus are, where I'm spending my time. Before, I was dealing with stuff as it happened. I was very reactive. I've become a bit more proactive. I'm still not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. The other benefit is obviously the amazing bunch of humans that are on the inner circle. It's a very diverse bunch of people. They're all from different cultures, from different business environments, or got different experiences. And that mixture is really, really difficult to get right. And when we did the people profiling, and you saw different character traits, and we really spent quite a bit of time getting to know each other, especially at the retreat we were lucky enough to go on. You got to know people on a bit of a deeper level. And I've never been on anything. The other programs I've done, mastermind programs, education and stuff. I've never got to know the people within it as well. And
Mhm.
I've come out of the program. And this is, it sounds corny, but I have come out of the program with 10 new friends. That we can talk to. We can pick up the phone to each other. I know if I've got a problem in a certain area, there's people in the group that I can reach out to and help, and hopefully, like vice versa.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's definitely true. And I think for a lot of people, that is in many ways like the missing link, entrepreneurship, or or so many aspects of life. I think there's a perception that we have to go it alone. And there's that proverb, isn't there? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go further, go with others. Um, and my borderline obsession with this concept of community, that we are stronger together, that we need each other. Um, and that, yeah, if you look at it from a purely business perspective, having 10 other non-executive directors who can kind of just give you a completely different insight. And as you will know, there's people in the group who have very different businesses, so you just get a completely different input, which I would struggle to get elsewhere. um I'm grateful you mentioned the retreat. Give us a sentence on the retreat, if anybody was thinking about joining us on a retreat one day.
I'm fortunate enough to have done two of these now. I was lucky enough to blag my way on last year. Just a really, really fun weekend with purpose. So I came away re-energized, reflective, of the things that had gone ahead of it. And it really is a good way of both relaxing, but getting a bit of focus.
Sounds good. Yeah, thank you for that. So, in terms of where people can find you, where would people, if people want to connect with you, what's the best way of them doing that?
So the best way for people to find me from a business perspective is LinkedIn.
Mhm.
I'm very active on there. Sometimes occasionally when I get busy, you know, not always responsive straight away, but I am on there quite a bit. So if anyone needs any help with anything, any property stuff, any advice, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, and I
And
would urge you to do
oh,
that. Carry
sorry,
on.
and I was just about to plug and always looking for new projects. So, anything interesting in the Northwest, if you want someone to have a look at it, or potentially we might be able to buy it, develop it, more than interested in having a chat.
That is awesome. And I would highly recommend you do. Tony is a really decent guy. He's got depth, so much depth of experience. He is held in huge esteem by people in the industry. Click on the link to LinkedIn, connect with him. And if there's an opportunity to collaborate with Tony, that is something you definitely want to do, or at least explore it. Tony, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you this year, and the couple of retreats we've managed to get in as well. Thank you so much, and thank you for doing the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, Property and Investor Podcast. To learn a bit more about the stuff that Tony and I have discussed, just click on the link below. Join us at the first breakfast of next year, and we'll come out with a one-page business plan, and I'll deal with any questions and all that. And also after it, I host these consultation calls, so you're very welcome to grab a consultation call, and we can have a chat about where you are. Thank you very much for listening. Keep well, and we'll speak very soon.